Hey you guys, what is up? This is Steffi, aka In My Humble Opinion. And see, I told you guys I was gonna be back, even though it might be a little late, because this is the final episode of 2016. And because, let's be honest, 2016 was a bit of a shit show. I really feel like there was a lot of great things that came out of 2016. With that being said, some people might think that this countdown is a little bit shallow, but you know what? As a lover of pop culture and entertainment, this is important to me. So, and I think it's important to other people too. And I think it's really important that we take the time to acknowledge the great work that did come out of 2016. So, without further ado, here are my favorite movies that came out in 2016. So, starting with my sixth pick, my sixth favorite movie of 2016, and this is gonna be like a little weird, but let me explain, is The Conjuring 2. I really enjoyed the first Conjuring, but what I really liked about Conjuring 2 is I felt like they really developed the relationship between Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson's character. Even though, like, obviously this was a horror movie, I felt like this was like a love story too between those two characters, which I really enjoyed. I thought they had really sweet moments throughout the movie, and I honestly loved it so much that I saw it twice. And I've never seen a horror movie like twice. So my fifth favorite movie of 2016 is Walt Disney Animation's Zootopia. This movie is so entertaining, but it's so smart. It's a movie that kids and adults can truly enjoy, because the kids are gonna think that the movie is cute because the animals are cute, and there's that catchy song by Shakira that plays like throughout the entire movie. And then like adults are gonna think that this is great too, because it's just a really smart movie that provides really relevant social commentary. Okay, so my fourth favorite movie of 2016 is something that I saw like about a week ago. Okay, so my fourth favorite movie of 2016 is Jackie. If you are a fan of the Kennedys, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis specifically, and this idea of Camelot, you're really gonna enjoy this movie. Overall, I just feel like this movie did justice by Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis, because they really portrayed a woman who is this personification of like class and grace and dignity, especially in a very dark time in American history. My third favorite pick of 2016 is a little indie film. It's on Netflix right now. If you haven't seen it yet, you totally should. If you are a fan of the 80s and specifically a fan of the British invasion that was taking place during the 80s, you will love this movie, and it is called Sing Street. Sing Street is essentially the story that is set in the 80s, and it's about this boy who sort of has a crush on a girl, and in order to get the girl, he forms a band. This movie is so charming, it's so full of heart. There's original music that's featured in the movie as well, and it's like really great. My second favorite movie of 2016 is a strong Oscar contender for Best Picture, and that is Moonlight. Moonlight is essentially the story of this young African-American man growing up in Miami during the 80s, and it features 3 vignettes, each focusing on different points in this young man's life. And you follow this African-American guy growing up in Miami during this time, and also his journey into discovering his own like sexual identity and his like identity in general. And it's a really moving movie. It's a very quiet film, but it's very captivating, and I think the actors did a great job. Now, my first favorite movie of 2016 is another Oscar Best Picture contender, and fingers crossed that I'm hoping it wins, and that is La La Land. It's such a beautiful film because it really harkens back to the great musical films that came out during like the 1930s and 40s, and this might be a little bold saying this, but it is my favorite movie of all time. Throughout this movie, when I first saw it, I cried. Like a third of the reason why I cried was because it was so good. A third of the reason why I cried was because it was so heartbreaking at times. And a third of the reason why I cried was honestly because a lot of the things they talk about in that movie like really resonate with me as a person, because I am someone who is very passionate about following my dreams, and this movie in general is just a love letter to anyone who is a creative or who is into the arts or is in the entertainment industry, and who in general, anyone who has a passion and is very passionate about following their dreams. Like, this movie is literally a love letter to you. So if you like any of those things, I highly suggest you go watch La La Land, and that is why it is my favorite movie of 2016. So now we venture into my favorite TV episodes of 2016. This was a great year for television, and frankly, I feel like TV is definitely way ahead of film in terms of having diverse faces on screen and behind the camera, as well as just telling diverse stories in general. And these are the episodes that really stood out for me. So my sixth favorite TV episode of 2016 is Blackish's episode entitled Hope. Blackish is a comedy that is on ABC, and despite it being a comedy, it still manages to talk about really prevalent issues, specifically relating to African American families. And essentially, this episode of Hope just featured the Johnsons watching the news about the Black Lives Matter movement and all of the shootings that were happening in a lot of the cities. What I loved most about this episode is that the Johnsons are a multi-generational family, and each age group had their own perspective about like the movement and how they felt about it, and it was really refreshing to see so many different perspectives represented in a comedy show. So my fifth favorite episode of TV is from a new show called Insecure that's on HBO, written and starring Issa Rae. And the episode that was particularly my favorite is the pilot episode called Insecure as Fuck. I really like Issa Rae. I watched her web series that was on YouTube called Awkward Black Girl. I thought it was really hilarious, and there's definitely some elements from Awkward Black Girl that are retained in Insecure, and that was really nice to see. Essentially, Insecure as Fuck, you just follow Issa Rae's character, and as well as her friends who are kind of like in their mid-late 20s, just figuring out life in LA. There's some TV shows that focus on that specific age group, but like those people, they're really unlikable and like they just don't seem to be moving forward. But these characters, like I actually really like them all. They're well written, and each has their own set of problems that they're trying to deal with, but it's still like realistic, but like funny too. And my fourth favorite TV episode of 2016 is, of course, what would this list be without Stranger Things? More specifically, Chapter 8, which was the last episode of the first season. I am a sucker for any piece of art that pays homage to the 80s. I love the 80s, and this TV series in general does a really great job with capturing that era. The fact that Stranger Things specifically follows kids being self-sufficient and trying to solve their problems, and you're like rooting for them, it really pays homage to like the great 80s films that came out, like Steven Spielberg's E.T. and The Goonies. But I really love Chapter 8 because it did a great job with tying everything together, as well as leaving you wanting more, because there were some hanging threads that are obviously meant to be carried through for season 2. And you know what? Shout out to the Duffer Brothers, who are the creators of the show, because we graduated from the same school. So my third favorite episode of TV of 2016 is from another new TV show, and it is called Pilgrim Rick from This Is Us. Pilgrim Rick, aside from being a classic, great Thanksgiving episode, because every TV series needs a great Thanksgiving episode, I feel like Pilgrim Rick does a great job in showcasing why This Is Us is such a great TV show. And in general, you really enjoy the family unit. And it's not like a cookie cutter family. Like, this is a family that is very contemporary and complex, and it's very compelling to watch, and I legit like cry every episode because it's so emotional. And I really enjoyed this TV episode because I think it just shows why Milo Ventimiglio's Jack is one of the greatest TV dads to have ever existed. So narrowing down between 2 and 1 what my favorite episode of TV was really hard. But I ultimately made the call, and my second favorite TV episode of 2016 is the People vs. Oj Simpson's Marsha episode, aka the episode that finally earned Sarah Paulson her much-deserved Emmy Award. So for those of you who may have been living under a rock, the People vs. Oj Simpson is an FX show, and it is essentially the story of the trial of the century, aka the Oj Simpson trial. The series is more about like the lawyers and like the behind the scenes and like what they were going through. But Sarah Paulson, she did a great job with portraying Marsha Clark. Like, she literally transformed into Marsha Clark, and she did a great job humanizing her. In this particular episode, Marsha, you really see the sexism that Marsha Clark faced throughout the trial, and it's insane. the amount of shit she had to go through during that period of time, considering how much was going on in her life and the fact that she was the lead prosecutor in this case that was being watched by millions. And my favorite TV episode of 2016, see, I'm already smiling because like I'm already thinking about it. My favorite episode of TV is Black Mirror's San Junipero. My god, I love this episode of TV so much. Ironically, it is such a heartwarming, feel-good episode of TV. I don't want to give away what happens in the episode, but all I can say is the writing for this episode is it's so good. I love the concept, I love the world that this particular episode is set, and I think the performances. Mackenzie Davis and Gugu Mbatha-Raw do such a great job in this episode. It is freaking insane. I love this episode of TV so much. It's so beautiful, it's so beautiful, it's so beautiful. I can't say anything more positive about it. And 80s. Let's talk music. So my sixth favorite album of 2016 is Bruno Mars's 24K. This particular album sonically is such an homage to the 80s and I guess early 90s. Standout songs for me on this album are That's What I Like, Calling All My Lovelies, and my absolute favorite song on this album is Versace on the Floor. It's a great pop album and I like that it's only 45 minutes, so it's like short and sweet, to the point, in, out, great. So my fifth favorite album of 2016 is J. Cole's For Your Eyes Only. I was a huge fan of 2014 Forest Hills Drive, and even though personally for me I prefer that album over this, I still think For Your Eyes Only is a really great album. What I really enjoyed about this album is J. Cole made it more macro and was really speaking from the point of view of an African American man in America in 2016. A couple of standout songs for me on this album is She's Mine Part 2 and Change. I think those songs are really great. I think this whole album is in general really great. It's kind of melancholy, but still it's a really good album. So fourth on my 2016 list is Rihanna's Anti. Usually when you think of Rihanna, you're like, oh, the radio club banger hits, but I feel like Rihanna really made a great album. A couple of standout songs for me are Consideration, Love on the Brain obviously, and I love Higher. Like, I had no idea that Rihanna had the ability to do this. No shade. I think this album is great. I've definitely been listening to it over and over and over again. So my third favorite pick of 2016 is Solange's A Seat at the Table. It is no easy feat to be in the music industry, especially when Beyonce is your older sister, but I feel like Solange has done such a great job marking her own path in the music industry and figuring out who she is as an artist and what she wants to say. A couple of standout songs for me, aside from Cranes in the Sky and Don't Touch My Hair, I really enjoy Junie, and I really enjoy FUBU, aka For Us By Us, but my absolute favorite song on this album is actually Borderline and Ode to Self-Care, and I'm really happy that Solange is really getting the attention and critical acclaim that she so rightfully deserves. So my second favorite album of 2016 is Chance the Rapper's Coloring Book. I really love how he implemented the gospel genre into this album. Coloring Book is so joyous and happy and so filled with gratitude, and that's what I love about this album. A couple of standout songs for me on this album are obviously How Great, No Problem, Same Drugs, like woo, Same Drugs. That song gets me a little misty sometimes. But I really love Blessings, the last track on the album featuring Ty Dolla $ign, and I really love Finish Line / Drown. It's very uplifting. That's what I love about this album too. I love it. And my absolute favorite album of 2016, this should be literally no freaking surprise because it has literally topped almost every single list of best albums of 2016, and that is, of course, Queen Bee's Lemonade. I am such a huge Beyonce fan. In fact, I'm wearing the shirt that I got at the Formation World Tour. Lemonade has been a long time coming for Beyonce in that this really shows Beyonce's growth as an artist, and Lemonade for me was Beyonce really proudly claiming her identity as an African American woman. It's not even just like an album or a movie. Like, again, I feel like Beyonce is one of those artists that always thinks on such a conceptual level, and I felt like Lemonade was such a movement. That is why Beyonce's Lemonade is my freaking favorite album of 2016.
Does that feeling grow?
Alright, and now we get into the life portion of this video. So I didn't narrow it down to 6, I have it at 10, and these are just like 10 of my favorite moments of 2016. I guess they are like kind of like in chronological order, and some people may say, your order is like a little suspect. You know, this is me. These are my personal life experiences that I was so blessed to have in 2016. So number 10 was being accepted into law school. If you guys haven't seen any of my law school vlogs, which you can watch here, this whole experience has been very, it has been a trying time, but nevertheless, I know how hard I worked to be in this position, to even have the opportunity to apply, let alone get accepted into law school. And I'm sometimes a person who I don't really like to give myself a lot of credit because I don't want to like blow up my ego or whatever. I really want to stay grounded and humbled, but I will say that getting accepted into law school is something that I am proud of, and it's definitely something that made my parents very proud. So my 9th favorite thing to happen in 2016 was getting a chance to see Lea Salonga in concert live. I'm Filipino, and if you are Filipino, I am sure you know who Lea Salonga is, or if you are a Disney fan, I know you know who Lea Salonga is, and if you are a fan of Broadway, obviously you know who Lea Salonga is. Low-key, like, I'm a firm believer in The Secret and like putting the things you want to happen out into the universe, and like the fact that I was able to not only see her live in concert, but also have the opportunity to meet her. We're literally like a thin door away from Lea Salonga. That's insane. And as a Filipino woman, especially someone who hopes to pursue a career in the entertainment industry, she just means like so much to me personally, and she's just such a cultural icon. So my 8th favorite memory of 2016 for me was being surprised by my friends to have a birthday Disney day. Essentially, when I got to my friend's house, they were like, get in, we're gonna go have lunch. And then, you know, they blindfolded me.
There we go, I just want...
At Disneyland, they like took off my blindfold when I was there and was like, surprise! So it was really great. Even though I'm 23, I love going to Disneyland. The fact that I got to be surprised by my friends in that way, especially for my birthday, was really, really nice. So my 7th favorite memory of 2016 is getting the opportunity and chance to get close to my friend Lisa. I've been very stressed throughout this law school experience, and what we usually do is every Friday we do this thing called People's Couch, where we go to campus and we literally rent out a room in the library with a TV, and we just sit and watch a bunch of movies or watch a bunch of TV shows and like talk about life and pop culture. And I'm just happy that I've developed that friendship with someone, and she is someone who has been like my rock during this very trying time. Lisa, if you're watching this, you know it's true, but she is someone who I'm very, very like so fortunate to have like as my friend. So my 6th favorite memory, okay, you guys are probably gonna judge me for what like my top 6 are. So you're gonna be like, oh, those 2 previous memories are so nice. I don't know, I'm just like such a fan of like these people, and they mean so much to me. That's why they're like my top 6. So my 6th favorite memory of 2016 was, and I also did a video about this and you could watch it up here, my 6th favorite memory of 2016 was going to Pop Fest, so that I had finally, after so many years of being a fan of this man, I finally got the opportunity to sit in on a panel with Ryan Murphy.
Mr. Ryan Murphy.
He is someone who made me believe that even having a career in the entertainment industry was possible. He's definitely one of like my personal creative inspirations. He is so innovative, and he consistently pushes me and challenges me as a viewer and also as a creative person to see the world and think differently and just make great things. So my 5th favorite memory of 2016, I really did cry, and that's because I made a video about this too, which you can watch up here, and that was seeing Oprah in the flesh. I feel like I don't need to elaborate on this, but it's Oprah. Alright, so I know you guys are gonna judge me so hard for what my top 4 is, but I really don't give a shit. My 4th favorite memory of 2016, and this might be a humble brag, but it was being a seat filler at the BET Awards, and not just being a seat filler at the BET Awards, but sitting in the Parkwood section. And Parkwood, for you guys who don't know, Parkwood is Beyonce's entertainment production company. Long story short, somehow God had magically placed me, literally, I was seated right behind Beyonce's mom during the entire BET Awards. When Sheila E. was performing her Prince tribute, they literally like show me and another guy who was seated next to me on TV. So my 3rd favorite memory of 2016 was creating this YouTube channel. And I know I don't mean to sound like cheesy or hokey or anything, but like I truly legitimately mean it. That's why I say it in almost every single episode. The fact that, you know, the internet and social media gives us the opportunity to connect with people that we just like literally would have no other means and ways to connect to, and just having the space to create content and express myself and build a community with all of you, it's great. I'm so happy that I started this YouTube channel, and I'm just so happy and grateful that you guys even take the time out of your day to watch the videos I make and even respond or like reach out to me. Like, I love it, I love it, I love it, and that's why this YouTube channel is my 3rd favorite memory. So my 2nd favorite memory of 2016, and I bet all of you are like, why isn't this your number 1? But it's because I'm crazy. My 2nd favorite memory of 2016 was graduating college. Those 4 years went by really fast, but you know, it was great to have that moment to walk across the stage and get your diploma, and it's a definite life experience I will never forget. And it was so nice to be surrounded by my friends and family, and just to celebrate that great moment in my life with all of my loved ones. It was great. Alright, you guys are totally going to judge me, but my favorite memory of 2016 was going to the Formation World Tour. And I know you guys are probably like, how the hell is graduating college second to the Beyonce Formation World Tour? And I will tell you, because Beyonce puts on one hell of a fucking performance. If you want me to do a full video about my Formation World Tour experience, just let me know in the comments section below, and I will tell you. Every time this woman goes on tour and I go to that tour and I walk away from that tour, it instantly becomes my favorite thing that's happened to me in that particular year.
You're the one that I love! Baby, you're the one that I need! You're the one I see! Come on, baby!
So, in short, that was my year, 2016. I know it was really, really rough for many, many reasons, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so happy with the quality of the movies and TV shows and albums that came out in 2016, and I'm just so blessed to have had the experiences that I had in 2016, and you guys are a large part of my 2016. So to that, I say thank you. I hope you guys have a great, happy New Year's Eve, and I will see you in 2017. And as always, everything I said was just my own personal thoughts and all in my humble opinion. See you guys on Wednesday with a brand new video, and see you guys on Friday with the first Fan Reaction Friday episode. Bye guys, have a great New Year's Eve, and yay, 2017! Do better, please. 2017, we're counting on you. Bye!